And so welcome everybody. This is about content that sells your program, product, or service. And it's kind of part two of yesterday we talked about your unforgettable flagship framework and how to 10 times your offer. So just as a follow-up to that, I thought I would start by sharing, because now once you've got your acronym and your offer, the next step is to turn it into a graphic. And over the years, I've been playing with a number of graphics, and I'm going to share with you here. Hold on. Of course, I have to screen share. So this here, can you see 9 activators? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So you can see that here's the GRO, the GRO, and each section has 3 elements. And so that's how I've turned that into a graphic. That's one way of doing it. I'm going to share.
Could that be a model as well? Is that kind of what you're, the direction you're going in, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. It's I think the thing about having a graphic is that you can either draw it or you can incorporate it into your website. So the 9 activators, I'm thinking like that could be the outline for a book, for instance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason I bring this up is this is something I'm working on. I haven't quite got it all worked out, but Chantel, you were talking the other day about doing workshops or about giving, a business breakthrough session or leadership breakthrough session, whatever. This could be something that I could share in a workshop saying 3 things that you need to grow your income and your free time. Okay. I'm not giving them the 9 activators. Right? I'm giving them, okay, you need strategy that shifts you from being uncertain to deliberate. And the strategy is step by step, it's mindset first, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? You need structure. You need support. Now, some people use the word community.
Mm-hmm.
I use support, and support can come from community, but can also come from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to show you that for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to show you some others. Sorry, I'm just screen sharing. So this is the woman that I've been working with. So she has 3 different, she has 2 main programs. So basically she talks about how you are here and what it's like, and her programs build one on top of the other. Okay.
Right.
So after people graduate from this year-long program, they can go into this year-long program. That's another way of building so that you keep the same client over and over and over again. Right?
Right.
Stop share and I'm going to use this. Okay, get rid of that. And the last one I wanted to share. So this is her expand method. Couple of things here. The way she starts and finishes how they are feeling. Okay. The other thing I want you to notice is how she is, it's always positive language. Well, I wouldn't say positive language. The word she uses, it's always kind.
Mhm.
Okay. So, for instance, things are working. I'm ready to expand with better processes and systems so I can have a bigger impact, etc. Okay. And here she goes into what each one of these means. And then she has a graphic for each one so that if she was to put it somewhat other way, it could also be graphic.
Mm.
I don't know. So
Yeah, I really like one pagers because it's like island A to island B, and this is what the journey looks
Mhm.
like. I like that.
So,
Yep.
you know, you could do a number of different things here, but I just wanted to give you some different ideas.
Mhm.
And I think, Carl, you know, you were talking about a model. So, oh, where was that?
And who builds this out for you? Is this something that you have Stephanie do as your VA, or do you have a graphics person that's working on it
No,
that does it?
Stephanie does it. So,
Okay.
one of the things about something like this particular one is that, and much like Steve Lowell, Carl, you want people to identify where they are in their journey. And so people can identify when she starts talking down here, oh shit, I'm here. Well, where do I want to go next? Well, that's what I want next. Or I really want to go here, but there's a step in the middle.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah, any of these, you know, a VA with any Canva experience probably could do this.
And there's enough models out there too, I'm sure, or templated ones out there that could easily be editable to fit
I
your
don't
brand
even,
and colors and all that stuff.
you know, when I'm talking to Stephanie, sometimes I'll see, like, you know, if I have one of these, I'll go, oh, and I'll actually, poor Stephanie, I'll cut and paste things and then I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to her, you know? She gets really rough stuff. So,
As long as you know what you're sending her, right?
yeah, you know, or, you know, am I going to keep this in a circle? I gotta think about it. I may put it so it's more linear. I don't know. I might try it both ways
Right.
to
Right.
see what it is. Um, yeah, so those are just different graphics. And I think it's really, really, really important to have a graphic. The other day, Carl, I don't know if you know Pamela George. She's from Ottawa. She's a financial literacy person. Anyway,
I don't
she
think I
was
know.
doing a presentation to a Hub Inc. group, and she, you know, was something sort of like this, and she had her slides so that, you know, one circle popped up, and then another circle popped up, and it overlapped, and you know, that sort of thing, so that
Yeah.
people only saw a portion of it to get started.
Right.
Or something as simple as this, you could draw on a flip chart as you're speaking.
I don't draw those very good. It's like you and your grow meter that has many different
Yeah.
you know, versions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as graphics, that's what I just, that's kind of where you need to go. But the important thing is to really play with the acronym now and start using it so that, what is it going to mean? And, how are you going to explain it? How are you going to use it? All that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. That's that. Any questions? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Did you get this little, I don't know, called it an outline?
Yep.
Okay.
I even have it open.
Oh my God. So one of the things that which Chantel did was, I think you went and took that quiz, right?
Right, yeah.
Catherine and I were talking the other day, and if I had, so Catherine's a ghostwriter, she writes. However, over the last year or so, I've seen Catherine be able to step into live. And I've seen that energy that actually happens. And so I said to her, I said, how do you feel about, speaking to people live and having one-on-one conversations or speaking, whatever? And she said, oh, I love it now. Now, Carl and I know we wouldn't have heard that from her a year ago. Right?
Nope.
So Catherine is a live and in person. Carl, I'd like you to do this and see what comes up as your video content. So whether you do it now or whether you do it later, it doesn't really matter. And feel free, after you have done it, you're going to probably get a couple of emails from Shannon's email responder. What I would do is pay attention to the sequence. Okay, because
Of how things are going, you mean?
yes, because she uses this as a lead magnet, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So all of these emails are just automated. She wrote them once and they're automated. It's probably a series of, I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 7. And maybe she's tweaked them over the years. But pay attention to the sequencing and what she kind of includes in those emails.
It really bugs me when people sell that way. It drives me crazy personally, because I just have to get these barrage of emails over and over again before I actually get to the real point of what the hell are you selling and how much is it? So it bugs me personally. But it's probably the way you have to sell things. I get it.
Well, and you've probably heard this before, that they used to say that it took up 8 or more what they call touches before somebody will purchase from you to build that know, like, and trust. And the truth of the matter is that today it takes more than that.
Right.
Email still is your best way to build know, like, and trust. It far, in terms of ROI, return on investment, it's like 1,000 times more powerful than social media.
Blows me away. With all the other tools out there, I would have thought that email, I don't not to say would have went the way of the dodo, but would have been very specific. And then I see and hear the results from you. And I don't know, Chantel, if you know who Mark Mawhinney is, but he does a program called, he has a daily email system program that he runs, and he sends emails every day.
Ugh.
And people say, oh my God, like people must be jumping off your list left, right, and center. And you know what? Some of his emails are 50, 75 words, and that's it. I mean, others are, longer, or they'll have a link or a graphic or something. and they're not all they're not all pitchy, right? You know,
Mm,
you get those that are pitchy and click here, click here, click here, click here.
yeah.
His aren't like that.
No, it's about
So
staying top of mind, and it's about answering their problems.
And can you do it in a video instead of writing it? Or,
Well,
some
here's,
people do.
Hmm,
yes, you can.
hmm.
Okay, here's Kat. Hey, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay. So we just talked the first few minutes about graphics from our framework. So just, rewatch the beginning of it. So we're talking about
Okay.
email and why email versus maybe video. So my suggestion would be that you could do a video, include it, but have the video transcribed.
Okay.
And there are apps out there that can do it. Okay.
So they would be able to see the video and read what I said at
Yeah.
the same, okay.
Okay. And there's a reason. And so my suggestion is you create one good piece of content a week.
Okay.
Creating nothing at the moment, start at one good piece of content per month, then up to two, and then go. I think the ideal is at least once a week.
Okay.
Now, you talk about Mark McWhinney. He has a very specific framework for all his content.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mark McGuinney.
Yeah, he runs something called the Coaching Jungle Facebook group.
Hmm.
And it's really for coaches, whatever. So he has a three-pronged thing. He has his Facebook group. He has his podcast. And he has his email. And he has in the center, he has his paid subscription newsletter. So this is I think it's $97 a month, and you get a written, delivered by post email. Or not email. Yeah, newsletter.
Regular mail. Yeah.
Okay. And he knows that these are the people that he's actually selling his programs to, because they're willing to fork over $97 a month.
Got it.
Okay. Now, this has other funnels that go off and whatever, but I just wanted to share that with you.
I put his LinkedIn profile in the chat.
Yeah, thanks. I just connected with him on LinkedIn.
So if you guys are, most of you, I'm assuming, are live content personalities,
Yeah.
I'd like you to just take a moment and jot down how many different ways you could use live as your content personality.
Is this assuming that we're only using one platform for live?
Yeah. Okay, so let's say you're going to do LinkedIn Lives.
Right.
I do Facebook Lives, okay? You do LinkedIn Lives.
Yeah.
But what else, what 9 other ways could you use live to do it?
based on your content personality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm really not sure about you, Carl, to be honest. That's why I want you to take the quiz.
It says audio, so
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
yeah. And
Um,
I'm not either.
it's not that I can't do visual, it's just,
It says audio.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what it said.
Yeah. So I'd like you to write down as many audio as you can.
I'm really grasping at straws now.
Okay. So okay, what have you got, Chantel?
So I could do lunch and learns on LinkedIn Live, retreats, which I'm doing now, workshops, speaking events, training in person, facilitating in person, coaching in person, and mentoring in person.
Yeah, you could do VIP days.
Oh, yes. But isn't that the same as coaching or mentoring or facilitating or training in person?
No, VIP days are like one way that you could deliver your program.
Okay. All right.
Conferences or speaking. So Zoom, LinkedIn. I also think that you could, I don't know, but I think you could get your LinkedIn lives turned into video and put on YouTube
Okay, yes.
to
Yeah.
repurpose the same thing. You don't have a VA, right?
No, I have a marketing person that I'm letting go in July.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it you that I suggested Ripple? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at them.
So
what did you come up with, Carl?
I have podcast webinars, speaking, networking, VIP days, workshop weeks / challenges, LinkedIn / Facebook Lives, Instagram Reels.
No, you're going to do everything that you can in audio. Audio, audio, audio. So how could you create tips and use kind of like you're doing your audiogram?
Yep.
I have a note here using Headliner. Is that the same thing?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so like you could put out a tip a day, well, a tip a week. For instance, focus on what your content personality is the best. So taking your podcasts and chopping them up. Audio books. Ooh.
I love audiobooks. Audible.
Now, they're also talking about, how could you create audio? So I don't think this is for you, but I'm just throwing it out there, like affirmations, meditations.
People do. A lot of people do, actually.
Yeah, visualization.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how you could use it in your business. Platforms, of course, radio, Spotify, Anchor, Clubhouse. I don't know, because Clubhouse is audio. The other thing is when you are, you could Facebook message people in the audio format, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I just figured out how to live video people on LinkedIn.
Yeah, do you not have to go through a third party?
No,
No?
They just- No,
Oh, okay, that changed then.
yep. I just did it on they just have a little video thing. You just hit it.
Good.
It worked.
There you go. Okay. Cool. Catherine?
I had LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Zoom, which possibly could be broadcast to Facebook or LinkedIn at the same time.
Yeah.
Podcast, my own podcast where I'm the host, also being a podcast guest on other people's podcasts, speaking at events or summits, conferences, whatever, hosting an event, hosting a retreat, and then I stole VIP days in YouTube from other people.
Right. So again, for you, I'm pretty sure that, you know, we've talked about that you're live and in person.
Yeah.
Focus on that and, you know, pick a platform, one platform, and get really good at that platform.
Okay.
Okay. So which platform do you think you'd like to choose?
Well, we're focusing my marketing efforts on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn Live could work.
There you go. Okay. Now, just because, so, you know, I know because you haven't done a lot of this. If I was speaking to someone that was already doing a lot of LinkedIn Live, I might say, post the same on LinkedIn as you do on Facebook and see where you get more traction. But I think that's a little much for you right now.
Okay.
Okay. I'd rather see you do one than nothing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So really focus on your content personality. So, okay. Okay. So we're moving on to section 2 here of this. And I just want to, yesterday I interviewed for my podcast a woman from the States, and she has an agency that all they do is create content. They are, it's mostly in the tech industry, but hers is all about copywriting. And so I wanted to share a couple of things with you from this. And the first was, of course, and I think most of you have heard this before, and this is copywriting. This isn't writing a book writing, Catherine, okay? So 9-word sentences. 9-word sentences. Why? Because it forces you to concentrate and put your thought concisely. The second thing was 3 sentences per paragraph. No run-on sentences, no whatever, concise. And the interesting conversation I had with this woman is she's a former attorney. And I went, how does a former attorney get into copywriting? And then it dawned on me. I remembered only once having to go to court. I was a witness for someone. And I remember the person I was going as a witness for had their presentation, shall I say, it was very to the point. It was, you know, boom, 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 boom. The opposing party, they were long and drawn out and they couldn't get to the point. And I remember the judge interrupting them and saying, get to the point, what is your point, etc. And so it dawned on me why a lawyer would make a good copywriter. Today, people have no time. They want it like, what the frig are you talking about? Get to the point and let's move on. So I thought her hints were really, really good. So it's all about being clear, concise, and consistent and having action words. She also recommended an app called Hemingway app. And it's an app. I think it's, I don't know. I just briefly went to it yesterday. It was like $20 and I think it's for the year as far as I could see. Once you get it, you've got it. And what it does is it actually goes through your content and points out where you're using either ambiguous language or you're not, and I don't mean this the way it comes out, but you're not dumbing it down for like a fifth grader.
Mhm.
So we talked about, the word, how people use the word success. Well, that doesn't mean anything. It's
Mhm.
not precise enough. What is, the words like empowerment and enlightenment and, they're great words, but when you're copywriting, they're not clear and concise enough, and they are not action words. So that was my takeaway. And the other thing is, what are you doing every week to grow your email list?
Ugh. I just want to throw up every time you say that.
Okay. So as we go through the different types of content that we're talking about, I hope this will help you.
Like
Here's the thing, Chantel, that just comes to my mind. You love creating. You take your training programs and you customize them and you recreate them.
Yep.
If you cut that time in half,
Yeah.
you would have the time to create great content.
Are you going to teach me what great content is? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
So, and maybe that's the problem, is that you didn't understand what kind of content to create. And a lot of people do. And here's something else that I learned. Too many of, when we start out, we all create the same type of content, which is really how-to content, right? 3 steps to this, whatever. I mean, I'm guilty of that for sure. And I've created content every week since probably 2015, maybe even 2014. But the type of content now that I should be creating is more like thought leadership, making people think about their business, making people question what they are currently doing and maybe what they should be thinking about doing. So I'm actually taking a course on thought leadership content. So that's my project. But what I wanted for you to think about was, what can you do to talk about, and we're going to talk about different types of content. And if you have one, we'll call it key piece of content, how can you rearrange, how can you multi-use it? So if we take Carl, for instance, and he's got a podcast, he could take out a tip, right? A hot tip, and turn it into some type of audiogram, right? You could take all of those tips and package them into a series that you could sell, right? You can take that podcast and have Stephanie, your VA, run it through some sort of, I don't know, do you do transcription now? Okay, so that transcription then can be turned into the blog on your website. The blog on your website, SEO. Okay. When people Google my name, Google gives them like half a page of Diana. Why? Because I've been doing content. Okay. And I'm sure you could come up with some other things that you could do for a podcast. Does that make sense? So if
Yep.
so if we go live, and you did one key piece a week, again, it could be transcribed, right? You could take those lives and maybe they're tips. And again, you could do the same thing. You could go and they could all go to YouTube. So I do this Monday morning question thing. Okay. It's a Facebook Live. I think I've done 20 odd of them every Monday morning. My VA takes it. She's got a thumbnail and I don't know what the thing is that goes at the end. And then they are uploaded to YouTube in a playlist. Now this actually could be turned into, it could be turned into a book. Right? Or lives, you know, I do my podcast. So a lot of my blogs become content for my podcast. So I might take, so I just wrote a blog on taking guilt-free vacations. And I'm going to be turning that into a podcast episode. It's not going to be as long as an interview one, but it's a podcast episode. So multi-using those things. And then of course they could be, you know, it could go to whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, whichever one you decide. Okay. The question is, and this is when we move into the third part here, what would change for you if every time you created a piece of content, someone reached out to work with you? That would be awesome. Well, that's the whole point. The whole point of your marketing, the job of your marketing, I mean, Carl's heard this, I don't know how many times, is to do what? The number one job of your marketing is to bring you qualified prospects. If it's not, then what has to change? Is it the delivery or is it the content or is it the messaging? Now that you have your frameworks, now that you have your acronym, right? So let's say it's my GROW. How many pieces of content? Oh,
Catherine's gone.
no, she's back. How many pieces of content do you think I could create around the G?
Huh.
Right? Or around the R? It's this, that's what I want you to think about. Okay. So I say aligned content. It's, and again, it's an acronym. So the A, it's aligned with your flagship framework. Okay. It's got to be part of that. You in your head, as you're writing it, you've got to think about that. It's got to be about leadership. In other words, in your zone of genius. So Carl, if you're not great at doing the flip chart, then maybe, and maybe not now, but maybe down the road, it's a good thing to invest in somebody doing some great slides for you so that you do voiceover slides. Okay. But you've got to demonstrate your zone of genius, that thing that you do well. It's got to be interesting, not boring and vanilla, not the same as everybody else. everybody else in leadership talks about what? For instance, Chantel, what do they talk about?
Oh, the same old performance and profit and productivity and all the jargon, corporate jargon bullshit.
Yeah.
But what I have it in my head that, okay, well, yeah, I know a lot about leadership and HR, but what do I have to say that's any different than what's already been said, really? Like,
Right.
how do I make it interesting?
So you're going to take your acronym.
Yes.
And you're going to brainstorm with, maybe it's with Post-it notes
Mm-hmm.
and topics, and you're going to write out, wake up, and you're just going to go, okay, there's a topic for that. Or maybe you will create what's the word I'm looking for? Like an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
With topics. I'm sure you subscribe to other people's emails.
Which are all the same. So
Well,
finding, I guess, other people to follow who aren't same. It was probably a good goal.
So, okay. I think you're going to like what we're going to talk about when we get to the actual content. Okay.
Can I ask you, Chantal, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Just refresh my memory. Are you a coach?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Seriously, start following Mark, and your ideas about content and how you frame things will change, I think, just by even getting to know him a little bit better, and you'll see how he drips his content through Facebook and and connect with him and have a conversation. I'm sure he's more than happy to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
he's an awesome guy. Yeah.
And you kind of got to look at these things sometimes not from the content, but how are they doing this?
Yeah.
Like somebody, I think it was James Wedmore, sent out an email, and the topic was something like how I went from $200 clients to $100,000 clients. And I went, oh, I could write something like that. Now, he was selling something at the end, but that wasn't the purpose of my email. So I took that, told my own story, but the whole idea was at the end, I asked them some questions about their business.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can take a thought like that, turn it into your own story, but redirect it to something else. Okay. So not boring and vanilla, gutsy, G. One of the things I've learned this year in taking this program with this coach that I'm working with is to be bolder. To be bolder about who it is you want to work with, who it is you don't want to work with. And if it's shit, say it's shit. And just, be bold, take a courageous stance. Like I've got a whole series of not only articles, but a podcast thing about you don't need to be on social media to get clients. That's going against the grain. And not many people are saying that. So what can you say that some other people are not saying? For instance, leadership doesn't need to be from the corporate angle about productivity and profit. Leadership starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not fulfilled, maybe you can say this, most people are attacking it the wrong way. If it doesn't start with you first, how are you ever going to inspire a team?
Right.
So you see, whatever they're doing in there, kind of reverse it around.
Yeah, got it.
The in and aligned means not more noise, but something that's useful. Think of your ideal client and what is useful to them. What is thought-provoking to them? E, your email is your one good piece of content. And D is be dedicated to the long term. Be consistent. Pick a day of the week, pick a day of the month. a time, whatever it is, and just, that's it. It's like going to the bathroom or going to bed at night. It's just a fact of life, right? The first thing that has to shift, Chantel, is the 7 inches.
Yeah.
The 7,
What's in my ears? Yes.
okay. Okay. So let's talk about content types. The first type is thought leadership. Again, it is not the how to. And most people are doing how to, like, 3 steps to whatever. But this is about asking deeper questions. What would a podcast, or Carl, for you, it could be about, I know you want to make your reach bigger or your impact, right? You can talk about impact and you go, but you're not impacting enough people when you're on social media. Social media is kind of a fly by night, right? Because it's there for 2 seconds and gone again.
Then I could put those posts on social media.
Yeah, well, that's why some people get put in Facebook jail, and that's okay. So thought leadership is about, what you do and how you do it differently. So I came up with, so here's some things that you could write down, like 3 reasons people hire you. You know why 3 reasons why people hire you? You versus your competition. Think about that. It's thinking.
But don't you have to ask them, why'd you hire me rather than someone else? Like, I can't just guess at why. I don't know why.
Well, you should know why. Why are you better, faster, whatever than your competition? Why are you?
I think reputation is, well, that's why the 6 people are with me right now, because I'm known, I'm reputable.
Yeah, your reputation for what?
Helping people transform and become better leaders.
So that what?
So that they can be more fulfilled and wake the fuck up to their own potential so they can build up other leaders.
There. That's the real reason. Because when they're fulfilled and they're energized, they can lead people. They can actually lead people instead of pulling people along.
Right.
There's a whole post right there. You've got to know why you're better, faster, whatever than other people.
Is it, that being the case, then, is it safe to do this, or is it okay to just interview some of your clients and say, hey, why did you hire me? You wouldn't say it like that, but say, hey, what is it about? What brought you to these services? Is it okay to do that?
Sure.
Like do market research, kind of,
Yeah,
so to speak?
you can do market research, but here's the thing. You guys have got to start stepping into your zone of geniuses and why you are better. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Is it really the reason why they hire you? But if you say it is, it will be so. Says Carl. And it's not about
That's true.
price. It's not about price. You get results. What results do you get? Do you know 3 results that you get for your clients? I get results. What results are they? I'm making you think, I hope. Okay, number 2 is a direct offer. So content can be, guess what, guys? Last call, July 7th, I'm having a retreat at my place. Are you in or are you out? Or, you know, here's my methodology, my grow methodology. Do
Sorry,
you,
can you back up a sec? When you say direct offer, do you mean to like a hand-picked group of people, or you mean like a swath of, or a short list of people, say within your email list, or like what do you mean?
yeah, so it could
Like in
be,
this case, is it people that are working with you, like your existing clients that you would make that direct offer to, or do you mean, depending on what the offer is, it can be many different things?
right. And so it depends on how segmented your email list is. But right now for you guys, you just got to make an offer. Right? Your content, let's say you've got this key offer. It's got to be aligned with your framework. It's also got to be specific for your offer or aligned with your offer. And the third thing is it has to have a call to action. Your offer could be book a call with me. Your offer could be go to my YouTube channel and listen. Your offer could be something that you're selling. Your offer could be a checklist. Download this checklist. Right? But you've got to have all 3 of those things in there. Make sense? Okay, a direct offer can also be myth, fact. Okay, so I could say, you know, so many of us grew up believing that success equals hard work. That's aligned with my framework, right? But the fact is, and I could say something, I forget what the exact statistics are, but something like 55% of coaches only earn, I think it's less than 20K.
82%.
Whatever, okay?
I've seen that. I saw you live on stage many times.
So fact, what else? Fact is, and you could put, I could put 3 days a week equals 120K. Right? Oh, and I could create another fact to dispel the myth. I mean, or it could be something around women, entrepreneurs, right? There's statistics out there. So what could you do to dispel the myth? And of course, then that would lead to, for instance, it could lead to a call to action. I could say, for instance, I've got one spot left in my one-on-one program. PM, and you've always, PM me, book a call, whatever. Right there. Reach out today, whatever it is. Okay. Questions? Chantel?
No, I think I'm getting it. You skipped over connection, story, emotion. Is the emotional connection to a story supposed to be in there somewhere, or are these all separate things?
No, we're only on number 2, direct offer.
Direct offer. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were at section.
Yeah, number 3 is connection, story, and emotion. So I could, for instance, and you can combine these two sometimes. So this whole article or blog that I just wrote from, did I say? Something, how did I go from $300 clients to $30,000 clients? So that's my own story. Okay. And I wrote about the story, and then there were 3 things that helped me shift. I think the 3 things were, I got better at doing what I was doing, right? So you can add more value. Premium. So there's always people who are looking for a premium offer. Just think of airline tickets, right? Or somebody buying a $600 t-shirt. And number 3 is solving different problems for different clients. And then I summarized it by saying at the end, what are you getting better at in your business that you can add more value? Do you have a premium offer? What was the last thing? Oh, could you be solving bigger problems for your clients? So it was like a combination of story plus thought leadership, right? Okay. Number 4, mission driven. Typically, this is about your turning point. So where did I write? Turning point. Okay, turning point. If you want to take notes, go. Turning point. 6 points for the outline of it. So the first point is either the day you started your business or the event that started it all. And for those of you who've worked with Steve Lowell before, it's very similar to the kind of keynote thing. What started it all? Number 2 is what's your aha? What was your aha moment? Number 3 could be your setback. What set you back? Number 4 would be another aha moment. Number 5 would be, you could have another setback again. And number 6 is, where are you going? So here's kind of a couple. This was mine when I was working on it. The day decided to start my business, the coaching business, was actually the day that my friend Jane said to me, Diana, you've built several profitable businesses. Why don't you help people start their own? And then I had an aha moment. Yeah, I could do this. I don't need all these degrees and certifications. I can start right away. And I signed a private client. The setback was, oh shit, $300 a month. That's really not enough to be sustainable. My aha was I needed help with marketing and messaging, which I got. And then the setback is, oh my goodness, I went into hustle mode thinking that, right, success meant working really, really hard. But now I've come to that aha moment where I understand that my mission is really to help people not work hard, but to work less and earn more. And it could be done really simply. So, Carl, for you, just think about and remember the difference between truth and fact. It doesn't have to be fact, it just has to be truthful. When you first started thinking about podcasting. So again, go to that turning point and see what you can do. That's mission-driven content. So Chantel, yours could be something like, and you left corporate because of what? You went into typical HR whatever, and you had an aha that you fucking hate this.
Mm-hmm.
This is aligned with your wake up. You had and the words you could use, I had a wake up call.
Yes.
It's not where I was meant to be. It's not fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
That's content.
Mm. I'm getting it.
You're getting it.
I think I'm getting it.
Oh, I see here what you were thinking, fact or fiction. Okay. Myth, fact or fiction. Number 5, I would say that should be fact or fiction. And this is really about, it could be similar to, myth versus fact, but this is really about being bold in your stance, your soapbox, if you want to say it. So Carl could say something, and even Catherine, stop wasting your time on social media. Go get out there and do a podcast or write a book that is evergreen. Stop wasting all this time out there. But you've got to be able to put your big girl panties on and just say it.
Say it.
There's nothing wrong with saying it. What else could you, I would like you to think for a minute. What else could you share your stance on? What's a common myth in your industry? or in the coaching industry or in the consulting industry.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Like leaders are born, not made. Like there's millions that I could.
Well, then think of that as your content.
Right. I think I was overcomplicating it for sure. Like now that you're going through these things, like, yeah, there could be 100 of those facts versus fiction in HR and leadership.
Right. But pick the ones that you really want to.
That align with my framework of waking up.
Right. But that
Right.
you really want to stand in powerfully. And you want to call it crap in the industry.
Okay.
Catherine, have you something that you can think of?
I guess like only good writers can publish books,
Yeah.
something like that. Or only people with like a lot of time, like you have to be able to take a year off to write a book or something like that.
Yeah, good. The other thing would be that, I've only been in business for, I don't know, I'll say 3 years. I don't have enough knowledge to write a book.
Yeah.
If you're getting results with your clients, you've got enough content to write a book.
Or I should have a master's degree in literature to write a book. I don't have that, so I can't write a book.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to when I wrote my first one, right? Poor book coach, I thought she was going to have a heart attack when I said, well, it's the end of August. I want my book finished and a hard copy by November. Yeah, but Catherine, you could take that. It takes 6 months or a year to write a book, right?
Yeah.
I can't have a podcast because I've already got 5 reasons. Okay, so one common myth, for instance, that I could use is, people are afraid to niche down. If I specialize, I'm going to lose clients. I could take that as a common myth and turn it around into, fact versus fiction. I could say specialists get paid more. Clients who specialize increase their profit 1,000 times. Fox can't chase 2 rabbits at once. And then a call to action. So remember, it's got to have those things. Thought reversal is even more than fact versus fiction. Thought reversal goes even deeper. It is probably one of the hardest. So hold on. So it's kind of like misconceptions, but it's even more so. It's that your whole brand is built on basically a thought reversal. So I'll give you an example. This coach that I'm working with, her main thing is, and I've watched her for the last couple of years. When I first started following her, she was coaching. I think she was earning about $250K. And in I would say 2.5 years, she's about to break the $1 million mark. And people told her at the beginning that she would have to, put on makeup, dress nicely. She would have to use paid advertising on Facebook, that kind of thing. Her whole brand is built on what you see is what you get. And there is no paid advertising. There are no Facebook ads. And it's all about joy. So in other words, if you don't feel good doing it, it's not worth doing. To some degree, I don't disagree, because when you think about it, what makes you, Chantel, you could say fulfilled. What makes you fulfilled, happy, changes your whole energy, which attracts people to you.
Mm-hmm.
So is there something in your business that is totally going against the grain? Anybody know Larry Wingett? Oh, he's a potty mouth, whatever. But again, very much against the grain. I think he wrote a book called If You're Broke.
Against the grain, probably.
No, if you're broke, it's your fault.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, when you think about it,
It's true.
It's your mindset, it's your decisions, it's your actions, it's your habits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not what a lot of people want to hear.
No, of course not.
He has a very specific following, and that's what you want. Your content should magnetize and push away.
Mm.
It should do both.
I'm okay with
also
that.
afraid. Oh, sorry, go, Carl.
I was just saying, I'm okay with that because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, and when you say joy too, when you're talking about your woman you've been working with who had to, put
Yeah.
on makeup and, do paid ads and stuff. And you and I have had the decision. No, you haven't. We've had the discussion rather though about imaging and branding and getting new headshots and, ditch the blazer kind of thing. And I think that it's so easy to get hung up in the old perception of what a person in business should look like and
What an expert should look like.
or what an expert should look like, right? And they don't all have to look like Wall Street bankers.
Well,
Mhm.
and I can't tell.
know?
I did a post on Facebook. I don't know how long ago, but a picture of me, my original, navy blazer and whatever. So what's my professional photo and the rebrand that I did, and talked about what I thought I should look like. Well, I mean, it blew up. The number of comments were amazing.
Yeah.
Again, that's, it's just being authentic and real with people.
Oh, sorry.
So there's two more kinds of content that you could use. Number 7 would be testimonials. And testimonials can be woven into any of these others, right? But you can also just share the client love. I'm so grateful that I've done that, sometimes when I'm a little brain dead, I'll revert to that. And I just, I've got the graphics that are already created. I have a file on my computer that's graphics for each year that they're posted in there, and I just reuse them. Testimonials really have to be specific. They can be very short. The tendency is to make them too long. What are the results that people got? how easy was it to write the book? I wrote my book in 90 days with Catherine. Oh my God. And then as a result, I got this speaking gig, whatever it is. So what results do you get for your clients? And that you can, in the testimonial, even like highlight specific words. Okay, because the result of working with Chantel, I went to work and my team became this much more productive, let's say. Or I was within 6 months, I was offered a new position, higher level position. Okay. The other type of content are free workshops. Free workshops, and this is where I think for myself as a teacher base, I was always giving too much away. What you want to do is raise awareness. If somebody had told me this like 4 years ago, you want to raise awareness of their fucking problem and make them sit in it and be uncomfortable in it. In the workshop. Workshop can be an hour. So pick a problem that they're having and how can you reverse engineer? How can you take them through an exercise that makes them aware of that problem? So, and those are free workshops, and then you can add those people then to your email list. But your free workshop has to lead to something, right? Every time.
That'd be the same as the workshop week then,
It doesn't have to be even a week, but yeah.
or 3 days or whatever.
So what is your offer? Right? What is your flagship framework? What is the problem they need to become aware of? So for instance, you guys have the 5 myths. How could you go deeper in one myth? So it really goes up, you know. Raise the awareness of the problem. It was kind of like, hold on. Let's see, do I have it here? Nope.
So you're only making them aware of the problem so that they can buy something from you, but you're not giving them a solution.
Correct. So one of the sorry. So for instance, I could do a whole workshop around this, right? What could you do a workshop around? What do they need, right? Because they want to increase their free time, they want to increase their income, they want to grow their business. What are the outcomes that your clients want? Carl's looking puzzled. So I did, Chantel, you remember I did a workshop was it freedom and focus or focus and freedom?
Yep.
Yes, I gave some solutions in there, but minimal.
Mm-hmm. But I still hired you, even though you gave me minimal. So
Yeah,
Be-
but that's the whole thing. It's to build the know, like, and trust. It's to get them on your email list
right.
so you can build that know, like, and trust. So that you can down the road sell them something.
Mm-hmm. It just feels icky. Just feels, I think I've just been giving away too much, and I always want to fix and provide solutions. I'm an over fixer solution provider. So if I don't give somebody something at the end of a call, so you already told me I was giving away too much on my growth strategy, which I agree, because obviously it didn't work. So why would they hire me when I've given them the whole solution in one call?
So here's something. Hold on. This is something else that is content. So this is a calculator. I call it a calculator. It could be a scorecard. It could be whatever. And it's an Excel kind of spreadsheet. And I can walk people through this in a growth strategy session. And they can self-identify where they are. So in the get known,
Mm-hmm.
I have a written long-term vision for my business based on my 3 lifestyle values, blah, 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 blah. They get to choose yes, somewhat, or no. Goes down here and they get a score. They walk away knowing where they are strong and what can use improvement.
Mm-hmm. Got
That's
it.
the kind of thing that they walk away with.
And then they hire you for the improvement they need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The way I kind of like to think about that sort of thing is that I'm giving them information, because what I really want to do is empower people to make the right decision for them.
Mhm.
And for my ideal client, the right decision for them is working with me.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're
Right.
raising their awareness that they need you.
Yeah.
Raising their awareness that what they're doing now hasn't been working.
Yeah, but I'm not telling them anything that's not true.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so it's not, like, for me, I don't feel that it's icky, because I do feel like I'm providing the information they need to make that decision and really do what is best for them.
Right. Okay.
So not telling you how to feel, just sharing what works for me.
Yeah, no, that's very good. No, it's very helpful because, yeah, there's a way. So you're giving me hope that there's a way to do it without giving them a solution, but also not feeling icky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So I have a couple of things that I just sort of jotted down as, you could call them topics, but you could fill in anything from your 3 expert tips, 3 reasons why people hire you. So I interviewed a lady who is a leadership coach, and her thing is every leader needs courage. So 3 tips to lead with courage. Confidence on camera. Well, you could say confidence on podcast. What are 3 confidence killers? 3 ingredients to create blank, a checklist. Contrast and compare. So I've done this before. I've done a graphic about the employee mindset versus the CEO mindset. Okay. So you could easily compare, evergreen content versus social media content, for instance, or leading from within versus whatever.
Yep. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. That kind of.
Yeah, but everybody uses that. Don't use that because those aren't your terms.
Okay, got it. So you have to create your own terms, your own words.
Yeah. Well, 3 ways, my clients get stuck. Now that's a bad term to use. And 3 things my clients want. 3, here's something I've done. 3 kinds of business owners I see out there. 3 kinds of leaders I see out there. So for instance, I could say, 3 kinds of business owners. And you guys who have worked with Steve and your expert insights, so I say there's the frazzled solopreneur. There's the marketing hustler. There's the bottleneck business owner. And then there's I'll call it the prosperous CEO. I could say that. Well, I could say 3 kinds or 4 kinds. I could cut that one out if I wanted and show 3 different kinds. Which one are you? So which one are you now and which one do you want to be? Again, it's a little bit of thought leadership because nobody else is talking about those 3 things. Do you see now why creating content is what you should be doing to
How
attract?
many hours a day are you? How many hours a day are you supposed to be creating?
Okay, the number 1 thing is, remember, done is better than none.
Okay.
And your writing like this or you're producing content is a muscle.
Right.
The more you do it, the better you get it.
Okay.
So creating 1 piece of content per month should take you no longer than, so I do, maybe it could be Sunday morning while I'm sitting there with my coffee on the deck. Maybe an hour. And then Monday, I will go through it again. No more than an hour, probably less. And then it goes to Stephanie.
Got it. Okay. So 1 hour a week is doable.
2 hours at the most.
I think that's the hang up is, and so podcasts is they feel they have to create an ass load of content. And it has to be earth shattering and it has to be like War and Peace, kind of like as far as the value to it. And it's just,
the thing is that, okay, so I wrote this article about guilt-free vacations. Where did I come up with that idea? I was listening to somebody else's podcast.
you stole it from someone. Of course you did.
Right? Doesn't have to, the writing is in my own words, but the idea was inspired by someone else. It doesn't have to be all your own original. So a lot of people also will take like a calendar of the year and go, so there's one guy in CAPS. So CAPS, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. He's all about fun and you call him sort of the jokester, if you will. But how do you bring fun into business? And so every day of the year, his social media is about some funny day that it is today. Like it's National, take your dog to the cat park day. I don't know, whatever.
National Banana Split Day.
Yeah. That's his social media. But it aligns with him, right? And there's whole lists of those things out there. Certainly one of the things that I used to do to be inspired was have a number of people that I would be on their email list that I thought had great either the content or the subject lines. And I would because I'm old school, I would print them off and put them in a folder. And then when maybe the beginning of a month, maybe sometime in the middle of the month, I would go through that folder and I go, oh, there's a great article. Now, that is not the way that I would recommend it.
Mm.
But it was a way to start.
Mm.
Okay.
So since I'm just starting, what way would you recommend it?
Okay. So
Do
here
not do that.
we go. Here we go. What does it start with?
My framework.
Okay. Yeah. But then what does it go to next?
My ideal client, talking to my ideal client.
No, it goes to your offer.
Oh, okay.
So, Catherine, I'll use myself. So I'm thinking of launching a new program in the fall. It's called Differentiate to Grow. So it's part of the G thing. Okay. Thanks, Catherine. And I've got to go. Okay, to launch that, let's say September, let's say 1st, I'm going to reverse engineer at least 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to create content based on that.
Oh, makes so much sense.
Ah!
That's a big aha.
Right? So this could be your direct offers.
Yeah.
That's your last one, like, are you going to shit and get off the pot? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you start with, a mission driven. So here's my story and how it relates to that offer. I was always a generalist. Da, 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 da. Nobody know who I was. I'm in a competitive industry, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So what would be, and then you could have, myth. You could have, and of course, all of these could have a testimonial at the end and a call to action. Your PS is a very strong call to action. People read PSs.
What's a PS?
You're writing a
Postscript.
letter and you got a PS at the end,
Oh,
postscript.
got it.
Okay. So I could have a myth, that, I'm going to lose clients if I specialize.
Mm.
And I could have a testimonial. I could tell a story, for instance, about going to a networking and there were 9 mortgage brokers and they all sounded the freaking same. Are they going to book? No. What else could I do? Mission, so my story, whatever. Other problems, what problems do they run into? How to free up time by specializing. How to get more clients by specializing.
Got it.
That's how you build the know, like, and trust factor. That's how you build content for your website. That's how you build SEO. But it could be the same thing in your podcast, Carl. Exactly the same. So it's thinking these things out. Now, in terms of your, production services, it's ongoing. But just think if you did this, okay, and interspersed with a specific interview. So it could be, interview about a story, interview about a myth, interview. There's 12.
And preparing my second podcast, that's how I was able to map out 60 episodes in basically 25, 30 minutes, is break it down like that.
But my question is, in each episode, I want to make sure that you are giving them a call to action as to why they should choose you.
Yes.
And, what is your direct offer going to be?
Right. Yeah.
Schedule a time with me, blah, 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 blah. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But have it be very purposeful within your, so I'd love you to go back through your acronym. Okay. And you could even say, on today's podcast, we're talking about blah, 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 this problem. This is part of my podcast methodology. It is the C of my, right? And they go, oh, he's got a methodology that's his. So he must be an expert. So I must be able to pay him more.
Yes, they must be able to pay me more.
But these are subconscious. Don't forget, these are subconscious things that people are.
Yep.
Not that they're conscious.
But I think that there's the flip side to that is that there are, well, because we work together on this, there are, other people out there doing what I do for pennies that don't have that type of
Yeah, but they don't have a methodology, and
that's what I mean. They don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't have the methodology. They don't. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
So, and you can be bold enough to say that they don't have a proven system. I've proven it. Here's all my, that's the thing that you can say.
Here are the happy clients.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, is it coming, Chantel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yep. It's a lot. I'm overwhelmed, but it's I'm getting it. I've just been overcomplicating it. That's all.
There we are.
Yeah.
I just want to spend a few minutes on something called the demand gap. We're going to pretend that there's two mountain ranges. Those are mountain ranges.
Mm.
And your content is here. So this is where your client is now. That's where they want to be. That's where they desire. It's kind of like you need these three things. And so we talked about it. What is your content personality? So live audio. You need to, I really am going to push people to follow this because I think it is going to be the easier way to do content for you. Okay. Then you need to know what is your, and we'll call it a messaging ecosystem. Like what is, because that's what content is. Content's part of your messaging. And people think your messaging is just what you say at a networking event. It's not. It's all those types of content that we talked about. And then there's this, we'll call it the 3 C's. In order for people to notice you, they have to be able to also trust that you're going to be there on a consistent basis. So you've heard me say consistency. Whether this is showing up on social media. So I'm going to pick on Carl because you have some consistent showing up on social media right now, but it is the same old week in, week out. And it's not thought provoking. Okay. Conviction. You've got to be bold as brass, put on your big girl panties and have this conviction that what you're doing is the best thing since sliced bread. Right? Conviction, and the conviction also has to be that you're in it for the long term. And confidence. And confidence comes when you're, it's all about how clear are you to your messaging ecosystem? How clear are you to them that they need you? Not somebody else who does something similar, not that they're going to, Carl, do it on their own. So, you've got guests that show up, I'm guessing at Podcast Alliance, who are doing their podcast management by themselves. You've got to get bolder about saying they're doing it wrong. You've got to get bolder about saying they're wasting their fucking time.
I've taught them how to do it.
Sounds familiar.
That's how it started. It started out teaching people how to set up their own podcasts.
And that's okay. But do they think they can grow their business and keep doing it?
Yeah.
It's like trying to do your own website.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing it. Give it to the professionals. That's what I mean about being convicted that they need to hire you. So think about your content in those, and it's fine that you taught them how, but point out to them, it's the old saying, the strategies that you use as a newbie are not going, and will get you to 50K, are not the strategies that will get you to 100 or 120K. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
they can start by doing it on them. I mean, how many people started their own websites? And you can use websites as a very clear example. But to get to multiple six figures, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. Okay, the last thing I included was a script on the last page. And I stole this from James Wedmore. And it's an easy way to send out an email. It's really a direct offer. That's what you're doing. It's not something that you would turn into a blog. So for instance, Carl, you know, you might use this to reach out individually to a small group of people. You know, I've been asked by, so let me see if I can do this. So, okay. I continually get asked by overworked business owners how they can free up more of their time. And that's because I've been able to build a six-figure plus business only working 3 days a week. For the first time ever, I'm going to be teaching a small select group of entrepreneurs how to, I could say maybe how to set boundaries or how to delegate or how to, let's say I'm going to use differentiate themselves so that they can grow their business while freeing up more time. Okay. So if you're done struggling with working nights and weekends and you'd like to be part of this special training, send me a DM. Okay. Easy peasy. So 320. Cool. Chantel, how was this training?
It was good. I have a lot of work to do, so still overwhelmed.
What was your key takeaway?
Really, it's about idea. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning. My first takeaway was that even though I am hiding by not putting myself on video or putting myself out there, it really is what I need to start doing. And I was overcomplicating it because I was thinking exactly what Carl said, you know, it has to be a message that's like nobody else has said before. So I was really getting stuck with what do I got to say that hasn't been said already? Well, you're already giving me ideas about, okay, well, here are things that you could say in terms of myth or fact, and they can be from my own experience. That makes it unique. My lived experience being in corporate for 25 years makes my stories around these things that you just taught us unique. Nobody else has my lived experience. So that was an aha moment for me. And then the other piece around how to start, like, where do I start? Here's my story. I left corporate. Here are the 3 principles of leadership that I know from doing it for 20 years. It's about you. It's not about you. You have to be willing to do the work. So I could be doing videos on that. I could be doing all the testimonials that I've gotten, repurposing those and doing them as posts. Like, I never thought of that. So I've got a lot of content already. I just need to rebrand it or repurpose it or whatever the hell you call it. And I really have to get more clear from the clients who have hired me. Why'd you hire me? And anytime I ever ask that question, it's always, well, because of you, it's you. Because I trust you, because I was referred to you. So for 3 years, Diana, I haven't had to get a client. Like, it's all referral. And now I'm out of referrals. So everybody who said, oh, because you were referred, I didn't really dig any deeper to get, well, why was I referred? What did they say? Like what? So I don't know. Well, I know that I was referred, but can you tell me more? So like Carl said, maybe I could go back and start interviewing people. Oh, who referred you? What did they say? Why did you trust them? Or, whatever.
Yes, you can do that market research. It takes a lot of time.
Okay.
I think
Like-
you know why
Mhm.
people, yeah, but you're just pushing it away.
Okay.
You're just pushing it away. And I'll speak for myself.
Okay.
Okay. So I know that I am a good strategist. I can look at somebody's business. I can look at a $10 million business and go, what the fuck are you doing? It just comes to me naturally.
Right.
You are able to probably look at an individual and see why they are not being that leader. That is your zone of genius. You can
Yes.
see the possibilities.
Yes. Absolutely.
That is what you do. And then you're able to work with that person so that they can see their own possibilities.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when they step into those possibilities,
Mm-hmm.
then what happens?
Their whole life transforms.
There you go.
Yeah. I see possibilities here. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see my own possibilities. How hilarious is that?
Well, so you've probably done, I don't know, disc or whatever.
Yeah, everything. Yes.
Have you done something called Fascinate?
No.
Okay.
Fascinating.
So, and the only reason I say this is that I've just come across Hilda in our podcast group,
Yeah.
who was an HR person.
Oh.
And that is the test, if you will, that she uses. So this is How the World Sees You by Sally Hogshead.
Hogshead. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a whole story about, I've heard her give this talk. She grew up with this name, Hogshead. Can you imagine going through school? Yeah. And so her brand, she took that and that created her brand, which is a hog's head peeking through a hole or something.
Wow.
Anyway, I took this. I think I bought the book, and at the back there's a code
Okay.
to do that test.
Amazing. Thank you. I'll do it.
And it really shows how people see you.
Mm.
And I went, really? Like, for me, it says here that, where do I see? Okay, like, you're an admired leader with an impressive track record. I go, what? I've never been a leader, but then I have. I used to teach horseback riding. I led all these other people. I, was president of this or whatever of this. I was never a corporate leader. So I had this whole idea in my head that I was never a leader.
Right.
Anyway, it's just kind of interesting. And I'm actually having a chat with Hilda tomorrow about this. And one of the things that I was talking to my client, the lawyer, is she's hiring people right now. And so they're so busy, it's overwhelmed. I said, it might be worth their while to go to a headhunter.
Yes.
And so I had a conversation with the headhunter about what personality test they were using, and she says, "Oh, I use Fascinate." And I went,
Oh,
"Oh, isn't that funny?" So yeah.
Cool.
But it's just kind of interesting, and you don't have to dive into it, full blast or whatever, but I think it might give you a perception of how the world truly sees you and how you can play from those strengths. The other thing is that, Carl, have you done with Catherine, the business character analysis?
Kind of, but I did the first wave of it when she did it as a workshop.
Okay.
So not officially, really.
Yeah. So the next time she offers that, maybe we can get her to, do it for the group here.
Mhm.
And it's really about how you, she has this, it's a process she developed on her own. And, when she did mine, and the summary character was about me being very strategic and very, that kind of thing, I went, okay, I need to use that more in my writing. I need to
Right.
highlight my strengths
Mhm.
and how people see me.
Yeah.
So, Carl, have you done any personality things?
I did colors a long time
Oh,
ago.
I think that's
The
Lumina.
I don't know, it's blue, gold,
Yeah.
orange, and green.
Yeah.
Green being they're the ones that always ask why this, and blue is very extroverted and emotional. Gold is very, systematic, and also very a lot of people who are in academia are gold.
Yeah.
And then the oranges, they're the ones that are, oh, it's fun, it's about the good life, but then you need something done right away, like a lot of ER doctors and people like that. They're orange because shit needs to get done or somebody's going to die. Boom, get it done. But ask an orange person to plan something, no.
Yeah.
And everyone's got aspects of each color, and I would be blue.
Yeah.
I think I'm more blue gold, blue being the emotional, easygoing, outgoing person that way, relationship driven, and gold being with some structure.
Yeah. So it might be worth your while to, you're going on holidays,
Mhm.
Yeah.
buy the book or whatever you get and I don't, you have to make sure that at the back of the book. So this one says here, here's your code.
Yeah.
And it tells you where to go go online to howtofascinate.com, and away you go. So I don't know if that has changed. But yeah, I think it would be interesting because I think it really allows you, it gives you permission maybe to step into that more boldly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can purchase a test for $59. I'll do it right now.
She's a doer. Okay, Carl, was there, what were your takeaways?
I think for me it was it's really being able to not only narrow down on the acronym, it's also partly something that I've been working on forever and ever, it seems. But then also just the different ways that you can utilize content that I've probably heard some of it before, but it's always good to be reminded of it. And it's also a good kick in the ass to be consistent with putting content out there. So it's a big takeaway. And I think I overthink the content process. Podcasting, not so much. That process, to me, it's really easy. You can sit down and batch 5 episodes, no problem. But to actually sit there and create content, I think I just overthink it.
Yeah, so I'd love for you in your new podcast to really, and maybe while you're on vacation, is take a look at the acronym and see how things fit into that. What type
that was
of content you can come up with. Also, I want to share with, I think I've shared this with you before, but I want to share, sorry, I think for a second, headline analyzer.
Oh, yes, I love it. I
Yeah.
just introduced it to my class this morning and they were like, oh, sliced bread. Wow.
Here you go, Chantel. So, yeah, sorry, here's the link.
It's aminstitute.com.
Got it. Okay.
And
it's amazing.
basically you type in a headline. Let's say I'm going to write a blog and it's, let's say it's guilt-free vacations for busy business owners. First of all, I'm going to highlight it and edit, copy it. And then I'm going to submit it and it only ranks 16%. So then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go, and I'm going to, since I wrote the post, I'm going to go back. What did I call
it? Doesn't give you any suggestions on what to make.
No, so you have to play with it.
Okay.
Okay, here we are. Okay. Guilt-free vacations are necessary for business owners. 28%. So I always strive for as close to 30 as I can get or over. So you go down here and it's, anyway, it gives you, but it does not give you any suggestions. You just have to kind of keep working it.
Got it.
Okay. But what that does is it helps you create headlines that people are willing to open and SEO. So you notice I put business owners.
Right.
I think you're going to have to play with, is it middle managers? How else can you describe the leaders that you're working with?
Yeah.
So, okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Questions? No questions have I.
Okay. All right.
So we're together next week?
Yes, on Thursday.
Okay.
Right? You're coming here.
Yes. Yep.
Chantel too.
Yep, I'm driving. I'll be there Wednesday night. I'm not sure where.
Chantel, where are you from? Again?
I'm in Lucknow, Ontario, just over by Lake Huron.
Okay, that's a bit of a hike.
between Carden and Goderich. Yeah, it's nice over here.
Oh, right, Godrich, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that about? 6
hours.
hours?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Either Brockville or Gananoque would be where you want to stay.
That's what I said, probably Gan.
Brockville, yeah, I don't know which would be summer, so I don't know 6 of one, half dozen the other. Gan's a little nicer, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Brockville could be a little bit of a cesspool.
And there's
So, yeah,
Holiday Inn Express in Gan, and
yeah, and it's right close to the Holiday Inn Express in Gananoque is right close to the east end of town. And not that town is that big or anything, but it's the east end of town, and it's literally from there probably 20 minutes or 21 minutes maybe to Diana's front door.
Oh, that's great. Okay. How do you spell Gananoque?
Gananoque.
Yeah.
UE.
Okay, got it.
Gananoque.
Okay.
It's actually indigenous for where two rivers meet, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's Francais because it sounds like, oh, Gananoque.
Right.
Vive la France, Gananoque. Eh?
Yeah.
No. Jean Chrétien, Gananoque. No, it's actually indigenous.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got
We're just coming back from a couple of days at a cottage, but do you have my contact info? Just say, let me know when you get to town. We can grab a beverage or maybe grab dinner or something.
Absolutely.
Something. That way you're not sitting in a hotel room by yourself, unless you want to sit in a hotel room by yourself.
It depends what time I get there. I'm not sure yet, but yes, I would. Yeah, for sure.
You can also reach out to me. I'm always up for dinner.
Awesome.
So depending on when you get in.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, ping my Gmail too, because my Gmail is always
on your phone.
always open on my phone.
There's my
Okay.
And I shut off my work email. I mean, I have my autoresponder on.
Yes.
Um,
I'll use Gmail instead then. Just in case.
yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. Well, have a good rest of day, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
Diana. That was awesome.
And I'm going to put all the replays and everything in a Dropbox, and then I'll send you the
Cool.
link.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.